Hillary Clinton made an appearance at the Grammys, and it was as cringe-worthy as you might expect. Hillary Clinton, or as my good friend Kurt Schlichter calls her, Felonia von Pantsuit, made an appearance at the Grammys last night. Now, you've probably seen it by now. Look, I don't watch award shows as a rule. I don't want to watch a bunch of mega-rich leftist elites pat themselves on the back because they're nannies, agents, and managers, auto-tunes, producers, editors, songwriters, background musicians, background singers, valets, personal assistants, did something that they're getting the credit for. So I don't watch award shows for that reason. I always love it when a celebrity gets Mother of the Year award, Dad of the Year award. Yeah, it's really hard to be Mom of the Year with 14 nannies, a fleet of SUVs, and 3 personal assistants taking your kids' clothes and food shopping. Yeah, really tough, Mom. You've got it really, really tough. That single mom on the bus stop going to her second job, she's really, really happy you got that award, especially when it's pouring and she forgot her umbrella. She's so happy you got that award. Yeah, as you get on your private jet when she's struggling to take her kids for ice cream, let alone Disney World. So give yourself some more pats on the back, Hollywood, music industry. You guys deserve it. You're the real heroes. You're the real heroes. But they embarrassed themselves even further because, look, Hillary Clinton, this woman should be somewhat dignified. You would expect it, but she's not. The Clintons are not dignified people. The Clintons are people who were really just white trash in the White House. They've always been. They've never cared about the rule of law. They've never cared about insulting the American public. They've never cared about disgracing our nation, committing crimes. They are literally, the Clintons are not the Me Too, hashtag Me Too generation. The Clintons personify hashtag what's in it for me. They certainly do. Now, look, we've watched this election, the 2016 election, be rigged in favor of Hillary Clinton to the point we've never watched any other election. Every day, well, actually, I'm wrong. I was going to say every hour, but it's not every hour. It's every minute. A new story is popping up about misdoing, about misdeeds, about wrongdoing inside Department of Justice, FBI, the intelligence community, the Obama White House, Camp Hillary, the PACs associated with her on behalf of Hillary Clinton, Fusion GPS, the list goes on. Piece of information upon piece of information about just how bad and just how dirty the dealings were. We saw what Hillary did to Bernie Sanders in the primary, working with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC to rig the primary against Sanders. Now, if you don't know, and I won't get too into the weeds, political parties are not supposed to take sides in primaries at the most local level up to the federal level. So local county Democratic parties aren't supposed to take sides in state and local primaries, and the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, is not supposed to take sides in the primary for the presidential race. They're just not supposed to do it, nor are the Republicans. But they did it. They did it, and they admitted it loudly and proudly. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz essentially said, hey, we're a private organization. We did it. What are you going to do about it? Screw you, Bernie. So the Clintons have a history of getting away with whatever they want. They're never called on anything because the media loves them. The media fawns over them. Hillary broke the law. We all know that Hillary broke the law. I have to say she allegedly broke the law, but we all know that Hillary broke the law. We know that Huma Abedin should be in jail. Huma Abedin, Hillary's right hand, like her daughter, I don't even want to go there, but whatever she is to Hillary, and there's a lot of speculation on what she is to Hillary, but whatever she is to Hillary, Huma Abedin knowingly, negligently, willfully, intentionally, assign whatever level of culpability you want, put classified emails on her husband's laptop. A guy who was not cleared to see them, a guy who's a convicted pedophile, a guy who's going to go serve 2 years in prison. He was holding classified information on his laptop, presumably so that other people couldn't see it or that Huma had her own insurance policy. That's yet to be seen. Nothing was done. Nothing was done. But we've got the President of the United States now facing an obstruction of justice investigation for fighting back against crimes that never happened. Think about this. Robert Mueller is pulling people into perjury traps over crimes that he knows never happened. I can't think of a worse perversion of our justice system than what Robert Mueller is doing. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say that as an investigator, on the outside looking in at the Mueller investigation, I think Mueller has gone from unethical to potentially criminal himself, using his investigation, his sham of an investigation, to obstruct and stall an investigation into the collusion between the U.S. government and Team Hillary during the election, the collusion between the U.S. government, the FBI, the DOJ, the intelligence community, and Team Hillary during the election. Mueller's sham is blocking and stalling that valid investigation. So want to talk about obstruction of justice? Let's look at Robert Mueller first. But this isn't about him. This is about Hillary. But now we've got Hillary Clinton, who's constantly popping up like Bigfoot. They'd get these grainy photos of her walking through the Chappaqua Woods like that. You know, the old Bigfoot where you don't really know if it's Bigfoot, but it's Hillary in like a quilted coat. And I was going to make a joke about putting an antler hat on her, but I'm not going to go there. It's not nice. She's somebody's grandmother. And who knows how many others Kids Bill doesn't know about, but that's another show entirely. But no, look, you got Hillary Clinton walking around the woods, and then when she's not walking around the woods, meandering around like Granny Dementia, she pops out and says silly things like, this is for my feminist bitches, or has to jab the president, all culminating in her showing up at the Grammy Awards. Now, we don't want politics infused into pop culture. The NFL should have learned that lesson this season. You know, I'm down here in South Florida, and many bars and many areas of South Florida are blue, but many others are very red. And many bars are opting not to show the Super Bowl because of the politics. 3 of them that I've driven past have said, out of respect to our troops, to our police, to our first responders, to our president, to the country, we're not going to broadcast the Super Bowl this year. They're kissing off thousands of dollars because they're just so fed up. Think about that. You're a bar owner. Super Bowl Sunday is one of the biggest days of the year, and I've driven by 3 that are not going to show the game because of the disrespect NFL players have shown to our president, our nation, our troops, our first responders, our cops, our firefighters, our flag. And Hillary Clinton plays into all that. So she shows up at the Grammys reading excerpts from Michael Wolff's moronic book. And the skit was the Grammy performers, celebrities were auditioning for the audiobook. And it ends with Hillary. And predictably, the audience goes wild. And it's the greatest thing they've ever seen. And she's amazing. And then she probably hosted her after party that consisted of Ensure Virgin Martinis and Murder, She Wrote playing on the video wall on a loop. And they loved it. And they fawned over her and told her how it was the greatest after party they'd ever been to. And how Hillary Clinton is the greatest thing since sliced bread and da-da-da-da-da. Now, what's worse here is that CBS aired this. CBS, which purports to be an objective network, an objective journalism outlet with CBS News, which we know it isn't. They tried to smear Bush 43, President George W. Bush, with those bogus Dan Rather memos. They tried to, when Ben Rhodes, Obama's national security moron, his national security beta twink, worked for the Obama administration. Ben Rhodes' brother was the president of CBS News. Ben Rhodes is hysterical on social media because of the hellstorm that is about to collapse the Democrats' House of Cards. So CBS is not an objective outlet. They didn't disclaim Hillary's comments. They didn't disclaim the celebrities' comments against the president. No, they presented it as objective hard news. So my question is, why do outlets like CBS, CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, why do they continue to get unfettered press creds to the White House, to Congress, while outlets like The Rebel have to constantly request them? I'm going to go out there and say it. I've said it to you before. Our editorial standards are much higher than theirs. We're not allowed to use anonymous sources. I can mention on air to you, but my managing editors are tough here. I can say, look, I spoke to some sources in law enforcement, and this is what they're telling me. Take it with a grain of salt, but they're people in the know. But they won't let me. My editors here will not let me bring you a story solely based on anonymous sources. I can bring you a story on hard news that Mueller did A, B, C, and D, and then I followed up, spoke to some retired FBI agents, and these are their personal opinions on Robert Mueller. That they'll let me do, but they never let me turn around and say to you, well, Adam Schiff said this on the record, Democrat Adam Schiff, my anonymous source, who's retired FBI, contradicted him. Go with that. The Rebel would never let me do that. But CNN, CBS, the Washington Post, the New York Times, they do that every single day. Enter a story last week about Ambassador to the UN, U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, having an affair with President Trump that happened mostly on Air Force One. Well, Nikki Haley is no wallflower. Nikki Haley came back with both barrels blazing, said this is absolute nonsense. I've been on Air Force one time, and in the presence of many people. She said, in fact, I've never been alone with the President of the United States. Even when he was talking to her about being confirmed or being selected and then confirmed as ambassador to the UN, there were always multiple people around them, his staff, her staff. She's never been alone with the president. She's been on Air Force one time, yet the fake news media ran with stories about an affair between her and the president. And I bring up Nikki Haley because she pushed back pretty hard on Hillary's embarrassment at the Grammys. Nikki Haley, I'm going to read you her tweet. She said, I've always loved the Grammys, but to have artists read the Fire and Fury book killed it. Don't ruin great music with trash. Some of us love the music without the politics thrown in it, and she's right. And that's why Hollywood is suffering. Movie sales are down. Now, look, movie ticket sales are down, and it's for a lot of reasons, right? Pay-per-view. I don't go to movies because I just hate people around me eating their popcorn and their milk duds, slapping their lips, texting and talking on their cell phones. People have gotten very rude. So I don't go to movies. The only movies I go to are those ones where you pay extra money and you get the big lounge chair and they bring you food and they bring you booze, because that's a bit more enjoyable of an experience. Or I will go to IMAX for things like movies like Dunkirk, which I saw in IMAX, which I thought was phenomenal, and you get to see it in IMAX. But barring those rare instances, I don't go to movies. So I get why movie ticket sales are down. It's also pay-per-view makes it very easy. And now with them releasing these movies earlier and upcharging you a premium fee, I'd much rather do that than go to the movies. It's cheaper anyway, all in. But the entertainment industry has lost us because they don't understand that more than half of this nation is not radically far left. More than half of the viewers of the Grammys last night didn't want to see Hillary Clinton mocking the president of the United States. They didn't want to see it. The people that wanted to see it were the elite D.C., L.A., New York City bubble echo chambers. The rest of the nation is rolling their eyes. And Hillary Clinton should know better. The woman should have a little bit of dignity and go away quietly. She should just go away quietly in her retirement, give her $250,000 a pop speeches, take care of her grandchild. But no, she's hell-bent on power, and she's hell-bent on re-earning a job that was never hers in the first place. The presidency was never hers for the asking. It's the American people's to give. Hillary thought she was entitled to it, not that she had to earn the trust, the respect, and most importantly, the vote of the American people. But even worse are whoever produces the Grammys, because now they've taken the Grammys from sex, drugs, and rock and roll to dementia, a purse full of hard candies, and regret. If you like this content, please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much. And do not forget to check out my new 1-hour show, Off the Cuff Declassified, right here on The Rebel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with you tomorrow.